Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about the runway beauty looks from the fall winter 2019 Haute Couture fashion shows. This is something that I absolutely love doing. Whenever fashion week comes, whenever Haute Couture week comes, I absolutely love doing videos in which I talk about the beauty looks on the runway, because here on my channel we talk a lot about makeup, we talk a lot about just the artistry behind it, and even though I love fashion, I love talking about the makeup side of things because I feel like that side of the runway show usually just ends up being, I guess, neglected in the press because a lot of people don't necessarily pay attention to the beauty looks because it's all about the clothes, which is understandable because it is a fashion show. But at the same time, I absolutely love going through and spotlighting and just talking about the makeup looks because the artistry and the skill that goes behind them is just so fascinating in and of itself. So we have a lot of stuff to talk about, so I'm just going to get right into it. I will say that all of these images, all of the articles that I'm referencing will be credited down below in the description box. So if you're like me and you love runway shows or you just want to see the original sources of all this information, check in the description box down below and all the information will be right there for your convenience. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. Now first off, let's talk about Dior. Now Dior is currently under the creative direction of Maria Grazia Chiuri, who is a designer who okay, see, here's where my fashion nut comes in. I'm not a big fan of this collection just in general. Keep it to the makeup. Keep it to the makeup, Anya. But the makeup artist for this show was Peter Phillips, and he basically is, from what I can tell, the global makeup artist for Dior makeup. I might be wrong. I should look into that, but he basically created this look right here, which is a look that was very just undone, very just, I would say, sensual in the simplicity of it and in how just minimal it was. And I will say that the entire collection, it was very, I would say, heavy. It was very dark. I think that the entire show was pretty much black clothing, so the makeup reflected that. And I say constantly that sometimes I'm bored by certain makeup looks, but I will say that it is important to realize, and I have to keep reminding myself, that makeup just in general in these shows is supposed to support the collection that they're showing. It is not just about the makeup. So in this case, I mean, this is a smoky eye with a little bit of eyeliner and no mascara and no false lashes. So it's a very undone look. Do I like it? No. Does it fit the collection? Yes. So I feel like this is a winning combination between the clothes and the makeup. I do have a quote from Allure's website, and this is directly from Peter Phillips. Now he says about the makeup look, it's a smoky eye, but almost like a very classic haute couture makeup. I wanted to do a smoky eye that was not too sexy, so I did more of a poetic but tough smoky eye. That's why I left out the mascara. Once you leave out the mascara, it becomes less about seduction, it's more of a cloud of shadow. So, I mean, when I say seductive, I mean, I look at this and I think seductive, but clearly that's not exactly what he was going for. He was looking for something that was just smoky, but for some reason, this is just my personal opinion, I see a makeup look that's very just undone and very effortless in this way, and I think really seductive, but that's just my personal opinion. Now Valentino is up next, and the makeup artist for this show was Pat McGrath. I love Pat McGrath. Her makeup is just all the time, just gorgeous. It is so beautiful all the time, and this show was no exception. There was a lot of glitter. It was very graphic. It was kind of like a glittery eyebrow, but if you look at a lot of the models, a lot of the glitter was placed just below the eyebrow. So in a way, it does frame the face, but this is not the glittery eyebrow that we have seen before on the runway. It is more of a very graphic eyeshadow look done with glitter that I really do like. The eyes itself had that glitter, but there was also a very minimal amount of eyeliner. There was a baby wing, and I really do appreciate how minimal that was, because if you look at the collection, it's very opulent, it's very loud, and I do understand that they wanted to create a makeup look that was very striking, very bold, but fit within the collection and didn't necessarily overpower anything. And another thing that I kind of have been seeing in the recent years and in recent seasons, what's really interesting is that makeup artists really strive to, in many cases, match the makeup looks individually to the clothes. Because if you look at a photo of Gigi Hadid, I'll pull it up right here, she basically has this like beautiful, like just purple clothing on, and then the eyeshadow, or the eye look rather, is set to match that. So I do appreciate that. I feel like it is very cohesive, and it really works to frame the makeup looks quite well. So moving on, we are going to talk about probably one of my favorite looks in this entire video. This is Viktor and Rolf, and the makeup artist who did Viktor and Rolf this season was Peter Phillips. Now, this is a direct quote from him, so I'm just going to read it. The inspiration was a combination of punk and psychedelic. It is a bit of glam combined with a touch of rebellion. Now, this reminds me very much of like just 80s aesthetic. Loud, dramatic, a little bit of punk, but of course that is my interpretation. I just love how bold and just beautiful and dramatic this eyeliner is, like this makeup is. There's a lot of silver in here, there's black, so these are neutral colors, but the way it's done is just so bold, so striking, and I absolutely love it. This is like exactly the kind of bold makeup that I find really just really intriguing, that I absolutely love. It's also a look that is quite minimal in the sense that they basically did a lot on the eyes, but they didn't necessarily do anything too crazy on the skin or the lips. The lips were a very flesh tone nude, and the skin was relatively blank, but the eyes really stole the show. Next, I want to talk about Jean-Paul Gaultier. I can never pronounce his name right, so I'm very sorry if I'm screwing this up, but the makeup artist for this show is Erin Parsons. Now, Erin Parsons is one of my favorite makeup artists for the runway shows, because like she never hesitates to do some like really amazing stuff, and this was no exception. I mean, like, this show was all about glitter, and again we had like that matching. They had like different colors of glitter, and they corresponded the colors of the glitter to the clothes that the models were wearing. They used a duochrome for the eyelid. It was like a duochrome glittery look, and then they had the different colors of yellow, green, silver, and red. And then in addition to this, they basically did like a small like winged cat eye effect as well. I looked online, and it does appear that they did use tape to create this like graphic effect on a lot of the looks, and I did get a quote, or I did like find a quote from Parsons, and she said, "Jean-Paul mentioned metallic, and I had been saving this product for something special. So when I showed him, he said we absolutely have to use it. We decided on a simple shape on the eyes because the product itself was so electric and intense. So just a blink of the eye and this duochrome light would flash. As for the product itself, honestly, I'm keeping this one a secret. I plan to do a lot more in the future with it. So I don't know what this product is. I have no idea, but the look does appear to be absolutely beautiful. This next look, whew, one of my favorites. And I know I'm saying that a lot right now, but Guo Pei. Okay, there are only a few designers that I think really should be known by absolutely everybody just because of their insane talent, and Guo Pei is one of those designers. She is absolutely amazing. If you are somebody who is like even mildly interested in any of these runway shows, or even if you just want to like just look at one runway show for this season and that's it, look at Guo Pei's runway show. It was absolutely spectacular. She takes haute couture and fashion and artistry to a new level. She and another designer that I'm going to mention in a bit, but this is definitely one of my favorite looks, and the makeup artist was Debbie Finnegan. And basically, there's another quote here. I have a lot of quotes in this video, very happy about that, and she said, "There's almost a sense of decay, but it's a very beautiful sort of decay." So this entire collection was very undone. It was very ethereal. There was definitely a sense of decay throughout the collection. And I know I'm being a little bit repetitive here, but this collection, if you look at the clothes, it's definitely very bold, very graphic. There are elements, I believe, of 18th century fashion in a lot of these looks, and the entire inspiration was like just really just so otherworldly and just so avant-garde and so beautiful. And then the makeup look just reflected that. You had like very subtle senses of color, but nothing to overpower the clothes, which themselves were works of art, each and every single one of them. And I do like how, again, we have that subtle what's the word, juxtaposition of makeup and clothes. The makeup has clearly been created to really correspond with the clothes on the models, which is another sort of element that I really do like. Now we have Chanel. So Chanel's makeup was done by Lucia Pica. Again, I believe this is a designer, or I believe that this is a makeup artist that we see a lot, but I don't think I have ever like really like loved any look that she's come out with, because from what I can remember, she does like very simple, very minimal stuff. And again, the focus is on the clothes, so the makeup look is not required to be absolutely amazing, but a winged eyeliner and then like minimal everything else, that's just boring to me. So anyway, moving on, let's talk about Armani Privé. The makeup artist for this show was Linda Cantello, and I look at this and it's very similar in the simplicity and in my opinions when it comes to the Chanel stuff. It's kind of like I kind of have the same thing to say about both. However, I do kind of like how in this makeup look, they created a very classic, a very minimal looking makeup, and there are like some elements of old Hollywood glamour, because if you look at the lashes, I mean, for some reason, like in my mind, they evoke like old Hollywood glamour, like those like just like very beautiful, long, like just sensual lashes that they used to have on the screen whenever they did like black and white films. That's kind of what I'm reminded of when I look at this. But is this like an amazing look in my personal opinion? No. But then again, you guys know my style. You guys know how extra I like to see makeup, and that's just how it is for me. Next, I want to talk about Ralph and Russo. Now, the makeup artist for this was Sam Bryant, and apparently the inspiration for this show was Art Deco slash 1930s. Now, Art Deco is one of my favorite movements, and I believe it started in the late 1920s and it moved into the 1930s. I'm a little bit rusty on my history, so forgive me if I'm wrong, but I really, like, what really stands out to me whenever it comes to Art Deco is the art and also the architecture. And I definitely feel like with this selection of, like, with this makeup and with these touches of silver, I just think immediately of Art Deco architecture and just how like clean the lines are, just how brilliant and just how like just shiny everything was. That sounds really weird, but like if you ever look at Art Deco architecture, hopefully you know what I mean. But this is definitely very like minimal, very striking. Not all the models have that silver sort of design on the eyelid, but a great many of them do, and some of them had like a very minimal makeup look just to begin with. But of course, I definitely really do like that silver. I feel like I have similar silver shades in my collection already, so I definitely feel like I could recreate this look. And there's also something like really wonderful about silver shadow in general. I've actually come to think of it, I have done an entire video on the best and worst silver eyeshadows in my collection, so I'll put that up in the cards. But what's really interesting to me about silver eyeshadow is the tendency it has to not only really enhance your eye color, but also to really enhance your lash line. Because what's nice about silver eyeshadow is because it's so very reflective, and you basically put it on your eyelid and your lashes just like automatically stand out. That's something like really random, something really weird, but like I feel like if you ever want to go for like a very minimal but still very striking look, silver eyeshadow is a great element to add to your makeup because it can really be so incredibly like just striking and so interesting. Now, Schiaparelli, the makeup artist was Lucia Pieroni, and this look was super cool. Like, I mean, the makeup artist basically did a lot of like very minimal sort of like aesthetics on the face, but the lips were like so glittery, and they had different colors for the different models depending on like what they were wearing. And I do think that they also made the decision as to like what colors went on what models depending on the jewelry as well. So that was very fascinating to see. And just like the models, like they look so incredibly beautiful. And there's also a picture right here that I want to pull up of like this beautiful model, just silver jewelry, and it's like bright pink glittery lip. A glittery lip is definitely not fun. I prefer glittery eyeshadow because a glittery lip is so irritating. But for aesthetics and for the photos, a glittery lip can be lots of fun. I want to talk about the last designer that I'm mentioning in this video, but definitely one of my favorites. I will say that this is not my favorite makeup look, but this is probably one of my favorite shows, right up next to Guo Pei, because Iris Van Herpen is a genius. She did this collection inspired by Anthony Howe, who is an American sculpturist who specializes in kinetic sculpture, who specializes in sculpture that is like really moving and like just really fluid. And if you look at this collection, I'm going to try and put some pictures on the screen right now, but if you look at this collection, you will see what I mean. This collection is so beautiful. I'd highly recommend seeing it in video, because the way the dresses move and the way just the fluidity of this entire thing is so beautiful. And I will say, the makeup, it was very minimal. Do I like that? No, I did not like that. But guess what? This is Iris Van Herpen, and I, like, in my personal opinion, the artistry and the skill and the specific style that Iris Van Herpen emulates with every single collection, I don't think that there are many collections that she's done that would necessarily benefit from an over-the-top makeup look. Because if you look at the clothes, they're really all out, and there's so many elements, there's so many like pretty much moving elements in the clothes that a really bold makeup look would just be like too much. I do like the eye accessory right there, like that silver eye accessory. I think it's really cool. But the rest of the models were like super, just like very minimal in their makeup. And do I like that? No. But this is Iris Van Herpen, and if you know anything about fashion, you know, or I hope you know, that Iris Van Herpen is absolutely amazing, and her like just her caliber of design is just so beautiful. Like, she belongs, I think, with one of the great designers in terms of just recognizability and in terms of accolades. Those were all the Couture Week, Haute Couture Week makeup looks that I wanted to mention for this video. As you saw, we had some really amazing looks. So let me know what you think of these down below. I cannot wait to see the makeup looks for Fashion Week or Fashion Month, and I believe it's coming up rather soon. But if you have never seen a runway makeup looks kind of video from me, I actually have an entire playlist dedicated to the past videos that I've done talking about runway makeup. I do runway makeup videos pretty much every single time there is either an Haute Couture Week or a Fashion Month and I love talking about the different makeup looks, and it's really lots of fun for me and for you guys as well, because you guys seem to really like these videos. So there's a playlist for this, and I'll put it in the cards if you're interested in binge watching this type of content. It's up there for you guys. But that is all I have to say for today's video. Thank you so much for watching till the end. I hope you enjoyed this and found it interesting, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye guys.